3080 on ERGO Revisited. This time we are checking out your settings based on the comments and see if they truly are better. Welcome everyone, Rabid here, and we are checking out our 3080 FTW3 Ultra again on ERGO because in our last video, we didn't really break 200 mega hash, and we came with our best efficient settings here of mega hash to watt of 1070 core, 2400 memory at a 224 power limit at 197.8 mega hash at 182 watts. Did work out to be 1.08 mega hash per watt. Now this was the most efficient settings I could find, but everyone in the comments, they were putting out a lot of numbers out there which are better than this, or like mega hash wise, but we're going to see if they are actually better. We're going to go through a bunch of your guys' settings and see if we can actually beat 1.0 mega hash per watt, and ultimately what actually turns out to be your current mega hash. Here we are, we're starting off with my most efficient test last time. So again, this is basically my ETHEREUM setting. So 197.8 mega hash, 33 degrees temp. We don't really worry about the temperature. So 80 on the fan, 1070 core, 2400 mem at a 224 power limit. Now we are only running at 160, so I could drop this down to 161 and it won't do anything. The power limit won't affect anything until you pull it below of what this number of the card is actually pulling. For the most part, we can see here it is running 203 watts. This system is 20 watts. So we're at, 182 watts, which did work out to be our 1.08 mega hash per watt. So we're going to bring up our first setting here of our comments, and it says 0 on the core, 2600 on the memory, and 181 watts will give about 223 mega hash. So 223 mega hash at 181 watts. So pretty much for the amount. Now I don't know, they're probably talking software, so we're going to bring this up 20. But for the most part, we're going to take a look at the wall, and I doubt we're going to get that at the wall because that is one less than what we're currently running right now. But we're going to try this setting out and see what it does look like. So here we are at 181 power limit, 2600 on the memory, and 0 on the core is giving us 220 watts. Now we were at 222, which is what I did the calculations at. Here we can look in the back here and we'll find, can I scroll up? It's not letting me scroll up. All right, well, it was at 222. So benefit of the doubt, we are going to give 222 to that. And that works out to, what do we got here? 226 on our power, 225, 226. So that is 215, 216 on the power. And it works out to be 1.02 mega hash per watt. So it's closer. That's not too bad actually. It's a minimal power difference, so this could be a safe setting to use. I could agree with it, but it is not the most efficient setting, but it is still pretty good. Now moving on to the next. For this comment, they say they also have the same 3080 FTW3 Ultra in another computer running a curve editor, so they must be using Afterburner in Windows. 1350 megahertz core, 70% power limit, and plus 1200 on the memory. They get 222 mega hash and 178 watts and the 66 Celsius on the memory. So we cannot see our memory temps here, but we will check this out and see what we do hash at here. Here we are. So we're only doing 198 mega hash right now, but we are only at 169 watts. Even though our power limit is set at 178 like he is pulling. He's in Windows and he is using a curve editor of 1350. So his core is actually fluctuating up and down and whatnot. So, but he is using the 70% power watt limit and 1200 on memory. Everything else we did replicate. I am going to have to bring this memory up again, but we're just going to look at the numbers based on this right now for efficiency because we are locked in due to our absolute core, which I'll kind of explain about that in a minute here. So ultimately, here we are with these settings. We are running 209 to 210 at the wall. Subtract our 20, we're at 190 watts. That is coming out to 1.04 mega hash per watt. And that's a little better than the last settings we checked out, but still not quite as efficient, although they are pretty close, but not too bad at all. Anyway, about this absolute core clock, if you're unaware, I've introduced it a couple updates ago. And when you set your absolute core, it only uses the voltages required to run everything at that core. So your power limit will not do anything unless you actually drop it beneath the number that it requires. So if you can see in here, anything above 500. So if I put in 499, it's not going to do anything. No absolute core. put in 500. Now it'll only use the voltage required to run the core at 500. Now if it's less than what this thing can even run at, then the card will just crash. But yeah, in order to up this wattage, I am going to have to up my core to match what our comment is saying. So 1350 on the core is with the curve editor is ultimately something else. So I'm gonna have to put this up to 1450 just so we can get a matchup of the 178 watts that he is using and see if we can hit that 222 mega hash mark and see what our efficiency settings actually are. These settings don't seem to be working out too well for me, at least in Hive OS, so maybe this is a Windows test we could do some other time, but we are only hitting 205.9 mega hash, and you can see there we're at 220 to 222, so 200 watts is what we're using. That works out to be, where is my sheet here, 1.02 mega hash per watt, so down a little bit from our past settings. Moving on, here we have a RTX 3080 from ASUS, so it's doing 215.3 mega hash, 46 degrees, 85% fans, 180 watts, again 0 core, but this time 1700 memory. So just like our first settings, but ultimately dropping down the memory. So let's see how this actually does. So here we are sitting at about 214.7 mega hash, 180 watts, 1700 memory, power limit again 180 to bring that because we are at 0 core, so the power limit does come into play here. So we are using 225 total watts, so 205 watts. That does work out to be 1.04 mega hash per watt. So it does look like a lot of these settings are pretty good. We are breaking 200 mega hash, and we're over at least 1 mega hash per watt. So this one, a lot of 1.04s seem to be turning up. So pretty good settings here, not too bad, not the best yet, but they are pretty good. So let's move on and see what else we can come up with here. So we're going to try this one out here. So at Rabid Mining, I'm at 218 mega hash at 230 watts. So we already know we're going to be using quite a bit of power here, but I just started using it yesterday on Hive, minus 250 on the core. Memory is 1950 with a power limit of 230. So let's check this out and see what these numbers look like. So looking at these settings, we are getting 218.4 mega hash, 230 watts software, minus 250 core, 1950 on the memory, 280 to 282 watts at the wall. So we are using about 261 watts on the card, and that is giving us 0.83 mega hash per watt, which is the worst of the bunch so far. So to you who posted this comment, yes, it did say you just started yesterday. So go through one of the settings that we previously just went through, or something that's coming up in the future if you do see this video, and change them settings out. I'm hoping by now you did change what you got and you're running more efficient, because right now you are running not very efficient at all. So next settings. Okay, so we do have one more here. There are some other ones, but I just picked some bunch out at random. So here we have me do 225 mega hash for 209 watts. Let's check it out. So here we are, 226.7 mega hash at 2800 mem, 0 core, power limit 209. I don't know what his settings were, so I just went with that to get close to that mega hash. And this is where we're at. So we are using 258 watts at the wall, 255, so 235 watts. That is 0.96 hashes per watt. Is that the worst, or was the other one worse? That is a little better than the last one, but wow. So now I'm going to see exactly how many mega hash can we just pump out of this thing, and that'll pretty much wrap up this video. Alright, so I couldn't get past the 225, 226 mark, so that was, I guess, the max out for this card. At least for me anyway. I boosted the core all the way up to like 1900, 2000 with like 2900 memory, and it wouldn't do anything, but we were at 350, 360 watts or so, so yeah, didn't do much. Anyway, we're going back to Ethereum here, so it should be booting up soon, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you guys want throw some settings out for another coin for me to try, hey, we can look at that in the future too. So catch you on the next one. Rabid out. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please consider watching one of these other videos, hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. We do a live stream every Sunday, and Discord link is in the description as well. Thanks everybody again, and Rabid out.